Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Yeah, you know what? I would say I am the closest to normal I've been in quite a while, couple weeks. Give it a few minutes here, let everyone get in. It's the early time. So we'll give it a few minutes and then we'll get started. There we go. Camera fell asleep on me. Oh, what are you going to do? Pretty miserable day so far. We are trending straight down. So if you're short, it's a good day. Except for the morning. There were some weird pops in the morning, especially in a few tech stocks. But then they pretty much got sold right off immediately. And we've been kind of flushing ever since. NASDAQ is leading the way in the weakness. It's down one and a quarter. S&P's down 0.87. Crude is up 1% at the moment. It has been flirting with VWAP. We'll have to see. Definitely sticky around 89.25. Price does not seem to want to go lower than that. Although, in my experience, typically if it's coming from below VWAP and it can't get above it, the longer it stays there, the more likely it is to fall back down. So we'll see. And good morning if you're just joining us. Hey, Cyrus. All right. All right. I'm just getting everything situated here. Oh, good call, Ricky. Yeah, you're right. We are close. Actually, heard them talk about that on the news earlier. The stock news, obviously, not the regular news. That would be pretty impressive data from the standard news channel. All right, let's kick it off with seasonality. We'll just go ahead and jump right into that. Then it's going to be a short one today. Don't have a big agenda. Let's kind of get an overview of the market, look at seasonality, and wait and see what how this pans out. Hey, Wes, you have a question? I see a comma there. Well, maybe, maybe not. We'll see. All right. Get into it. Seasonality. My screen share has to work. All right, there we go. All right, so for your sectors, let's switch on over. Thought I did that already, but sit here and wait on the hourglass. Always fun. No Roger today. If you didn't hear yesterday, he is out. Is taking his daughter to Animal Kingdom. Fun day for him. We'll be holding down the fort. You know, Pat, Pat says seems like one sure bet would be gas and crude. It's tough. You would think with the war and the conflict and all that, typically if there's conflict in the Middle East, going long oil is almost a sure bet, but it's not panned out this week. Energy went from one of the strongest sectors to pretty weak, pretty fast. Fell right out of favor. So we're keeping an eye on it. This market's been a lot of whipsaw action. Uh-oh. We need to check the Telegram and make sure the Telegram went out. Did everyone get their emails and texts today? Lisa got it. Perfect. Petro, XHB. But yep. Nice. Perfect. Made money on XOM. Hey, $25 doesn't grow on trees. And if you find a tree that grows it, let me know. I'm going to need to get a seed. All right, let's look at seasonality. It has finally loaded. Here's what we got. We are still favoring the long side. You've got utilities very strong. You've got consumer staples, industrials, fine tech, marginally good, I would say. Not too bad. Definitely in play. Oil is starting to, looks like it may have decided it wants to head south. It's finally broken out of it's been kind of in a range the last 20 minutes. Sorry, I'm pivoting, but I just noticed that. What else do we have? Financials looking very strong. Earnings coming up, so should be some volatility in there if you're a day trader. And basic materials. Profit factor is a little light on that one, but accuracy is good. So if you lever up, you might be able to make something decent out of it. Let's go into top setups on the long side so we don't get confused. WRB financials were strong. WRB is strong, 95%, 23 trades. That's a pretty good bet there. Barring looking at the chart, obviously, we like relative strength, upward movement. What's going up tends to keep going up. I don't know why. It's just how the market works, at least lately. Got F5, Tapestry, CE, AMP, ADP. Then you've got Marriott. Notice very broad still on the sectors. Pretty much just a nice bullish period for the market. Typically, you go down. I like these 23 traders. That's kind of the max amount of it. If it has 23 trades, that's usually the highest it can get. Give me 24, 25, depending on the week, but we're only taking into account years that had 10, 20 fall on a weekday. So if it was on a Saturday or Sunday, it's out of the data set. But this is going back to 1990 if the stock was around. If it wasn't around, then it does not, obviously. Okay, you know what? Let's take a look at a few of these on the chart. With our super fancy. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this one out of the way. I'll bring it back, I promise. I'm going to move this over right here. You can take a look at it. Move these down. I don't know why they got so high. Okay, perfect. All right. Some of those 23 traders. WRB was one. Well, definitely was not a great last year, but let's see here, since the summer, it's kind of been on a tear, bouncing off the 50 day. It's above the 200 day. He had hit it and then came back up pretty hard. About half the day's range rallied back up. And crude's above VWAP again, by the way. So maybe it might just be a gyrating day there. This one I don't mind. I like that it's really bounced hard off the 50. Might wait for a better entry, but relative strength is there today. Volume is not. It's kind of light, but that's not always end all be all. Let's check out. There's some options. WRB. And right there, you could take the November 6450s. Good, Adam. Roger is at Animal Kingdom. When to switch it up. All right, where are my other ones? We had ADP. ADP junk. I wouldn't take that long side. Next one was HIG. Also would not take that long. It's below the 50 and the 200 period. I would leave it alone. Next one, Marriott. Name we're familiar with. Broke down. Might be a good short, actually. Probably have some room. Although I would check. Actually, I'll tell you when earnings are. Earnings are November 2nd. So you want to make a really short-term trade out of it, probably got some downside room. It broke this support. You're right, Dan. That's a good idea. He needs to get a picture with one so we can use it for our no monkey business tag. Hopefully we'll have some graphics come up on the screen. That would be neat. The other ones, Starbucks. Yeah. Nope, not PayC, PayX. Nope. Consumer staple. If you're a bottom picker, it might not be too bad, but not really in our normal system. This one below the 50. If it breaks back above the 50, maybe you got some room, but for now, I would hold. Archer Daniels, junk. Win, junk. I'll look at Las Vegas Sands. Wouldn't catch me in it. Not long anyway. Honestly, not short either. It's kind of looks like it's just going sideways. XBI. Looks like it was good to be short off that 70 break, but now it's relatively strong today. Looks like it may bottom. If it tests this level in the next week and starts to turn, I'd probably jump in. But prior to that, I'm out. Adobe. So Adobe's decent, all right? It's above the 50, it's above the 200. You've got a nice entry zone. So if it hits 532, this 50-day moving average, I'm in. And then the nice thing about it, when you enter in something like that, you know immediately it's either going to bounce, try to make another high, or at least make another run at it, or you're dropping down. So if it hits it, you get in, start streaking down past the 50, you just get out. Got a tight stop, easy winner. These options are a little pricey. I know a lot of people don't like that, but Take the 540, spread it with the 550. It costs you about 480, $5. You'd need to get out quick though. Then the high was 574. That's the November monthlies. Sure. Let's look at some other ones. Ours says Merck. Really strong today. I'd check the news. Volume's low though. Below the 50 and the 200. It's been trending down. I'd short it. Short the anything that's moving this way and it's below the 50 and the 200. I'm shorting pops. And MRK is what? Is that one a staple? Or is that one a there's a couple that are so similar. One's a consumer staple, one's an insurance company. I think that one's McKesson. One's a utility. Oracle. Oh, all right. Well, we're on the same page then. Oracle. If you wanted to trade this short term, let it do its thing. I would set an alert at 102.89 and would wait to see if it rejects the 50-day. If it rejects the 50-day, you got a good short. But that's what I would use as the entry. If I was going to take it short, I'm still going to the monthlies. You can take the 100s right here. I'll show it. 100 November 17 puts cost you about $245. Thank you, Rochelle. All right. Let me get back to seasonality. Didn't like a lot of the long side. Take a look at the short side now. Ugh, let's get off this. There we go. Full screen is the best screen. Sector wise, you've got an energy short, and that's it. Energy to me is kind of it's kind of tough, right? So the war says go long because that's kind of a sure bet for energy. Seasonality says short. The price action has said short lately because it's been really weak. But it's one of those. Here's the problem with energy. If one thing happens in the Middle East in the next, well, any time in the future, but one catalyst, which is totally unpredictable, energy will go through the roof. So if you're a gambler, you want to get in long at a discount, well, there's your chance. All right, let's look some of these top shorts. Yes, fast movers and not always correlated to the market. So that's a little bit frustrating, especially when we use a lot of relative strength. So if you're watching the relative strength like this, typically if a stock is weak, it stays weak. So, the main system we use is, if you're looking at the weakest stocks, like right now, let's just look at the NASDAQ 100. Okay, hourly. The weakest stocks are Tesla, CSP, Enphase, PanW. Let's look at PanW. Not PanQ, PanW. And finger it. There we go. So you get off a 1 minute chart. 5 minute chart. You'll notice it's been relatively weak all day. So when the market goes up, this goes down. I'm sorry, when the market goes down, these go down harder. When the market goes up and they go sideways, as soon as the market turns, you short this, it's weak, and you'll get a more outsized move. That's typically how it works. Energy, like, let's look at how this thing has gone. Oxy, just for an example. It's relatively strong. It's weak out of the gate. Then bang, it goes to strength again. The SPY has just gone down. SPY was going down, down. Actually, SPY is going slightly up here. Down, 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 down. No correlation. Hey, Doug, glad you could make it. Be careful with energy or any kind of commoditized stock. Okay, let's look at some of our biggest losers, our weakest stocks. And we're right into an energy stock. Look at that. EQT. Again, if it breaks the 50, I'm interested. Although it's gone consolidative. I don't know what kind of energy stock this is, though. I'm doing good, Doug. Look at what else we got. SYK, healthcare stock. Same thing as before, but honestly, I like this as a short. Moving sideways today, I'd check earnings, but if you're looking at a long-term setup, things going down, got a little life in it. And if I had to bet it makes a new test. Test making a new low the next couple weeks. You can definitely swing it. Let's look at options. Take the 60s, the 260s. You can spread it with the 250s. It'll cost you less than $3. Communication, take a look. Here, watch this magic trick. Oh, not as magic trick as I thought. See how fast I can do this. Almost there. Or more. I'm going to bear with me 1 second because I'm going to save this so I don't have to do it again. All right, communication. It looks like utilities, maybe staples, are holding up the best. Natural gas. Yeah, you always want to distinguish because they don't. A lot of times they move together. Oil stocks, gas stocks, but sometimes they don't. All right, let's go back to this guy. Look at a few more here. So yeah, XOM are holding right now. We got a really good entry. So we'll see what it decides to do today. Above the 200-day. It's flirting with the 50. It's moving sideways. Relatively strong still, though. So I'm not abandoning ship on that one yet. I would definitely agree with you, Cyrus. I think sellers are in charge, especially on tech. It's just getting really beat up today. Let's look at a few more. Another energy stock. ConocoPhillips. Nope, I'd leave that alone. Let's look at a non-energy. INCY. It's on a breakdown. I might look for a little bit of a pullback up, but if you're a breakdown trader, one's kind of in the middle. It's gotten strength in the last hour. Or I. That's China. Profit factors are bad on all these. Oh, low. The housing start, or I think it was the starts report this week, was not great, which is why you got this action right here. Strong today. Maybe it looks like it's bottomed out in the short term. Pull back slightly up. I would be short again. Let's see here. SPY book previous weekly low, large candle. Thank you, Mark. Yeah. NQ down. That's the NASDAQ. Future symbol. Don't know. And the ES, that's the S&P future symbol. Oh, this is on hosts and panelists. Well, Mark says, give us an update here. The Qs are down 1.5. The SPY's down 1. Tech is leading the charge to the downside. All right, let's look at a couple more and then we'll go to the scanner. Well, wouldn't short it. Pretty strong on the daily. One more here. Let's go Procter. That's ripping upside. All right, let's go to the scanner. Get relative strength on the hour. See if we can find some day trades. Harder. One of the strongest today. Looks terrible on the daily. I'd probably leave it alone. E. EXE, that's kind of range bound. DTE. A lot of junk today. Volume's not there. It's unfortunate. Watching defense stocks closely. Now, Ken, that's Cyrus. When you say defense, do you mean defensive stocks like consumer staples, or defense as in like Raytheon, Northrop Grumman? and all the other ones I can't name right now. Let me know. I'm curious. Defense stocks, I would agree with. Sleeper defense stock, by the way, if you didn't know. Right. Okay. Military defense. General Electric, although that doesn't look good, is one of the top 10 military uh, contractors by revenue. It's a huge part of their market cap, actually. Everyone knows them for dishwashers, not missiles, but kind of hiding in plain sight there. All right. Scanner. Let's look at weakness because we're discover. I'd set an alert at 8207. If it makes another dive at the low, you could have a nice breakdown. It had earnings yesterday. Pretty big miss. And then I'm sure the guidance was also not good, but just gave it another nice flush down. It is, let's see here, but how is crude doing? Crude's starting to go as well. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry. Broke the low on the Qs about 5 minutes ago. New low on the SPY. Oh, there we go on the Qs as well. Yes, Mark. If you can, oops, see if you can see it on here. See it. But if you Google top 10 military contractors, you will see GE on that list. I think they're number 7 after the last round. Turbines. Kind of makes sense. Think about the products they make. Or let's actually go to my other scanner. 1 second here. Oops. All right, I want to load this other scanner, but I have to log in. Don't want all my info on YouTube. And if you're joining us on YouTube, I don't have it up. 14 people watching. Hi to YouTube if you're joining us from there. It's like Looks like oil might be giving it up. All right. Let's look at some short. All right. We've got MSCI popping up on the radar. Oh, I got to share my screen again. Sorry, guys. I'm not used to driving this much. Usually watching. No, Joe, as long as they are out of the money, you should be good to go. Although you never hurts on anything to call your broker and give them a heads up. Whether it's, hey, this option's out of the money. I have no plans to take it, obviously. I don't know what that's called. Exercise. I have no plans on exercising it. You would think that would be obvious, but not always the case. Same thing as like if you have an option that expires today, after about 3 o'clock, if you're waiting for a last minute pop or breakdown, if it's close to in the money, you don't have enough in that account to exercise it. They might kick you out. So it's always best to give them a heads up. That has happened to me more than once. Thankfully, it's never actually been the trade never would have panned out, but if it would have, I would have been very upset. All right. MSCI. This is kind of a blue sky short here. The market goes down more, this thing's kind of flush. Volume's not great on it, but kind of a layup trade there. Let's get Oracle. Again, good short. Maybe we even looked at this one, but the same situation as the last time. I'd set my alert right at 102.96. I'd get short. If it rejects, you got a great trade. You don't have support for this thing for maybe 97. Oh, BB, it's tough. I don't know what broker you use, but when I was with TD, Ameritrade, they're pretty good. They'll leave it till at least 3:30 if they're going to get you out. Schwab, I've had a little more trouble with them. They got me out of an option 2 weeks ago at 3 o'clock on the dot. It was 30 cents out of the money. I was furious because it was a large position. I called them and they were like, nothing we can do. It's pretty frustrating. You want to get on top of that. Oracle, I like it. If it rejects 103, I'm going short as a day trade. If you're going to day trade, don't buy the November 17th. If you're really going to get in and out of it today, I'd take the ones next Friday. Maybe the 102s. You think you might turn it into a swing trade, give yourself another week, go to the November 3rds. Same thing, I'd still take the 102s or 101s. If you go into the money, Fidelity is bad too. They give me a one for the close. Yeah, Fidelity is not super friendly to active traders. They are a retirement company. They know what they're good at. They're really good at managing 401ks and employee benefits. They not active trading. That is not a great platform to be on if you want to day trade. Plenty of fish in the sea, right? You got a lot of options. You got Schwab, you got TD Ameritrade. You've got E-Trade, if that's still a thing. I know a few people have Tastyworks, TradeStation. Those are pretty friendly. And I don't like Robinhood and Webull for a lot of reasons, but you really won't run into risk management by the broker there. So it's kind of the Wild West. You have a Pulse, they'll give you level 3 options. Trade Air, all right. The KRE. Live. Look at KRE. Oh, what happened? Wrong one. I like KRE too, Cyrus. It's a good call out. It's below. It's below. What's that? Breaks 39.46. We've got room on the daily. It breaks 39.17. Room on the intraday. Actually, if you wanted to make it a safe trade, you'd go short at 39, the break of 39.17. You'd set your stop if I were making this trade at 39.90. That's a little high. I would set the stop right here. 39.45. Awesome. I will let them know right now. How do you place a short order rather than buying a put? I can cover that. So if you're using Thinkorswim, I don't trade the underlying very much, but let's sell. Pretty much it. Set it to sell. And you should be good. Just look out for, see right here. Okay, this KRE, which is the regional bank ETF. I don't know why that's up there, but you see ETB right here. That means easy to borrow. So there's shares available to short. If it is, there's a lot of short float, you might see HTB, hard to borrow. So in that case, you can either take the put, use the put to short it, or if you're a more active trader, you can, with some brokers, you can pay for locates, which means you pay a small fee, you reserve the shares to be able to short. Check with your broker. Sometimes that means you can short them all day. Sometimes that means you can short them once. But if you really want to short, that's one of your options. All right, folks. Richard, do you have a question? Adam rolled Etsy. Let's check in on our friend. See what Roger has to say about that. That's his baby there. I didn't come up with that trade. All right. Any other questions? Thanks, Cyrus. Once, twice, 3 times the dollar. Okay, well, here's my email. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye, Steven. See you, Cher. Ricky, have a great weekend. I will see everyone on Monday. And hopefully we'll pump some more trades out. So be on the lookout. We're probably going to get active. Bye, everyone.